Hey guys, what's up? It's Paige. So today I'm going to be doing my Jacob Whitesides meet and greet experience for the dedication tour.
It was the reflection tour, not the dedication tour. So just disregard my fake fan moment. Let's continue.
In Sun, Ohio. So let's just get into it. On March 18th, 2015. So the day of the show, I did not go to school because the meet and greet started at 2 and we were leaving my house at 11:30 to go pick up Rachel, and school started at 11:40 that day, so I wouldn't be able to go to school anyway. So we got Rachel around 12 o'clock, and from there we went straight to Youngstown, and we went to the venue. So the venue was kind of confusing. There were doors that you went in normally for the regular meet and greet, but then there were also different doors that you went in for like the show. So we kind of just went to the place where we figured that the meet and greet was, where there was a lot of people. So we walked in and we didn't know which line to go to, so we kind of just sat in the middle on this like ledge thing. And then I realized that I had forgotten to put on lotion that morning. Conveniently, there was a CVS right across the street. So I'm like, Rachel, I need to go get lotion. Like, my elbows are really ashy and my hands are really dry. And like, what if Jacob holds my hands? And she's like, fine, go. But I'm staying here. And I'm like, okay. So I get my wallet. And right as soon as I get my wallet, I get a text saying that Maddie was almost there. So Maddie is my internet friend. She lived a couple hours away from me. And we were going to the same show. And she also had meet and greets. And she was coming with her friends Mara and Avery. So I'm like, okay, well, they're going to be here any minute, so let me just stay. So I got videos of us meeting, so I will insert those in here.
Avery, move.
So after Maddie and I met each other, I'm like, okay, I have to go get lotion now. So I ran across the street, got lotion, and when I got back, they were already in line. So we were like 30th behind, and there were only 125 meet and greets, which was really, really nice because we actually got time with him. So they started letting us in around like 2, and then when we got in there, Jacob was like running around, like hugging girls, kicking water bottles. He took his photographer's hat and was like throwing it at people's heads. I don't know, he was just being like a normal teenager. So eventually, we all formed a line, and they turned the backdrop so you couldn't see the pictures, and they put the table, there's a table where you could put your gifts, and they put the table like right next to the line so that you could just drop them there and then continue forward. And then Derek said the rules. You couldn't jump on him, he couldn't pick you up, and no squad pictures. If you haven't seen a squad picture in a Jacob Whitesides meet and greet, then I will insert one here. And Rachel and I were planning on doing this because I like love Derek. So I was like, oh, whatever. So Maddie's mom actually stayed during the meet and greet, and she offered to record all of our videos because she was allowed to. So I went first out of the 5 of us, and I'm like 3 or 4 more people before it's my turn. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like I'm talking to Maddie, and I'm like, can your mom like please record? And she's like, yeah, just give her your phone. And I'm like, Derek, can I give her my phone? Like, can I give my friend's mom my phone? And he's like, no. And so a minute later, his mom was like, here, give me the phone. So I passed it to this other girl's mom, who gave it to her mom. And when I got up to like the next person, Derek was like, okay, you can give her your phone now. And I'm like, I already did. And he's like, you're not listening to me now, are you? And I'm like, no, Derek, I'm sorry, Derek, I'm sorry. Like, just like joking. Because I knew he wasn't mad at me, because I was just giving my friend's mom my phone. So Derek said next, and I had my hand on my chest because my heart was racing, and I, for some reason, thought that my heart was going to beat out of my chest. So I was holding my chest, and I turned the corner, and I see Jacob, and I put my arms around him, like going to give him a hug, and he just stops and puts his hand on his chest, and he starts making this beat with his hand, like making fun of me, kind of. So he makes a beat, like, with his chest, and then he walks over to Derek, like, kind of with, like, with a swaggy step. Cannot believe I just used swaggy as an adjective, but okay. So he walked over to Derek, and he starts hitting Derek's chest along with his beat, and Derek kind of got into it, and then Jacob came back over to me and jumped in front of me and, like, spread his arms out wide and hugged me, and then, and then we hugged, and we were, like, rocking back and forth, and his photographer yells, thanks for the invitation to that party, and Jacob let go of me and went and did the same thing with his photographer, and then, he came back and did the same thing and, like, jumped in front of me and hugged me, and it was super cute, and then I, like, put my arms up like this on his shoulders, and we're, like, swaying back and forth, and he's like, what pose do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. He goes, you don't know? And I'm like, no, I don't know. And so he grabs my hand, and he's, like, he takes me in front of the backdrop, and we're, like, swinging our hands, and he goes, Derek, come here. He goes, make a heart behind us. So Derek stands behind me and, like, starts figuring out how to make a heart, and Jacob goes, no, like, behind us, like, back here. So Derek moves over, and he makes this really crappy heart. Like, I will insert a picture of how bad the heart was at first. And Jacob, like, fixes it after his photographer's like, what's that? So then Jacob and I, like, lean in and, like, put our heads together, and Derek's hands are, like, over us, and, you know, like, Jacob and my hands were like this, and, like, Jacob's rubbing the back of my hands with his thumbs. Oh, it was just so freaking adorable. I was, like, dying. And then Derek ended up having to move his hands in between Jacob and I because Derek was too tall. And then after they took the picture, I hugged Jacob one last time, and I'm like, I love you so much, and he held my hands again, and then, as he was, like, going to walk over to Rachel, he was, like, trying to, like, it's kind of as if, like, we were, like, letting go for the last time, like, saying goodbye for the last time, and he didn't want to let go. So he, like, kept, like, switching his hands so he could still hold my hands. He's like, I love you more. And then he walked over to Rachel, and I went and, like, freaked out. And Derek started yelling at me. He's like, come get your phone. But Maddie's mom was recording with my phone, for Rachel too. So I have both of our videos. But, Derek was, like, yelling at me the entire time afterwards. And then after Rachel finished, we went outside, and shout out to Maddie's mom. She, like, held our stuff, like, when it wasn't even our meet and greet time. Like, it was insane how much she did for us. And after that, Maddie, then Mara, then Avery went, and then they waited to take a group picture with Jacob because they wanted to spell out Ohio, which it turned out super, super cute. So if you haven't seen that on his page, then, like, his Flickr page, then I don't know where you are, so I'll insert it here. And I'll also insert all of the other girls' meet and greets here. And so after they came back out, we all made a plan to go to Chipotle, And so we went to Chipotle, we just like hung out. My mom and Maddie's mom talked for a while. And then I saw a tweet that said like Jacob was at the CVS across the street. And it was like, I was just hanging out at CVS and I turn around and there's Jacob Whitesides. And it was like, I was just hanging out at CVS and I turn around and there's Jacob Whitesides. And I'm like, oh, guys, Jacob's at CVS. So we all like rushed back. Rachel and I made a pit stop at Starbucks because we're white girls and yeah. So then after we went to Starbucks, we went back to the venue and we went back to the CVS. And also I had to go to the bathroom because when don't I have to go to the bathroom? And Jacob wasn't there, surprisingly. No, actually not surprisingly, because I saw that tweet like 30 minutes prior. And so then after I peed, Rachel was like, okay, we're gonna walk through this entire CVS because I don't know which aisle he was in, so we're walking through the entire thing. So we walked through the entire CVS and we saw this Easter basket that was like, it was princess themed. So there was like a tiara and like a wand. And I tweeted it to Jacob, I'm like, meet me outside the buses. I didn't even buy it for him. But, so then we went and got back in my mom's car and we drove her over back to the arena venue. And we saw that people were by the buses and we're like, oh, let's see who's over there. And it was like one of Fifth Harmony's moms. So we didn't really care. So then we went and got back into my mom's car because she was parked in the parking lot then. And then we, like a few minutes later, we saw girls getting out of their cars. And we're like, oh crap, someone important has to be over there. So we get out of the car and we, like, Rachel hops on my back and we start running. So we eventually get to the bus. And we realize it's Mahogany Locks. And Mahogany is my fave. She's like my mom. So I was like pushing and shoving my way up to the front, like trying to get a picture with her. I ended up looking disgusting and very washed out because of the sun, but you know what, I still got a picture with Mahogany, so I was like freaking out. And during this whole process of trying to meet Mahogany, I saw my friends Isaiah and Ashley, who go to my best friend's school, so that was like pretty cool how I like saw them across the crowd and I'm like, hey guys, and they're like, hey. So that was fun. We talked for a while after I met Mahogany and they kind of like gave up. So then after that, we met up with Maddie, Mara, and Avery, and we just stood in line, and they kept pushing back the time because Fifth Harmony wasn't, like, ready or whatever. They're, like, the band, like, I asked someone, it came, like, 5 o'clock, and that's when doors open. I'm pretty sure. Doors were supposed to open at 6, and it came, like, 6:15, like, 6:10, and I'm like, okay, like, are we going in yet? Like, 6 has come and gone. And the guy's like, oh, they pushed back the time 15 minutes, so we'll let you guys in, like, as soon as we get the notification, like, as soon as they tell us we can. And so it comes, like, 6:30, and I'm like, I walked up to the exact same guy, and I'm like, dude, like, are we gonna be able to go in? Because it's, like, 20 degrees out, but it feels like 10. And he's like, yeah, like, the band pushed the time back, like, a half hour again, like, they need you more time or whatever. They finally let us in, like, 10 minutes later, after me, like, being a pissy girl, and, like, harassing them. And then, right when I got inside, I ran to the merch table because I wanted to get, like, a custom, like, Jacob phone case. Let me show you. So this is a phone case I got. It's just a matte black iPhone 5 case, and it just says XOXO, and then it has his autograph, and then the Jacob Whitesides logo, and down here it says Derek is love, Derek is life. with a little heart, and I've worn this on my phone twice and it's smudged a lot. So yeah, that's the phone case I got. I also got a portable charger. I put it back in the case just to preserve it, just because it is autographed too. This really helped me out during the show because we waited outside for a while afterwards. But yeah, so this is it, and it comes charged if you wanted to know. And it comes autographed also if you buy it at the show. So yeah, that's that. And it comes with a cord too. So yeah. The merch that I got, it cost $40. The phone case was $20, and the charger was $20 also. So then I waited literally like a half hour for everyone else to come because they were all waiting for like iPhone 6 phone cases, but Jacob hadn't signed them yet, or they were all sold out or something. So when we eventually got to our seats, Rachel and I were not sitting together originally. She was a row ahead of me and 4 seats over. So we're like trying to figure out the situation, like trying to get the people in front of us to like move over 1 seat, like we're just trying to stand next to each other. So during Mahogany set, she was in front of me. And then when Jasmine V came on, or whatever her name is, we ended up being next to each other because the girl sitting next to me, there was no one sitting next to me. And then there were, like, girls just had put their stuff there. And I'm like, hey, is anyone sitting here? And they're like, no. So they move their stuff. Rachel comes and sits with me, and that was like pornography. I kid you not. So then it's time for Jacob, and Rachel cried through the entire thing. I filmed for her a lot. That was just such an emotional like performance that he gave, and it was his first time singing Ohio in Ohio, so it was like really special to actually be there. And they held up Yellow Stars during Ohio, I think, or Billboard. It was one of those 2 songs. I personally did not get one, but I found one on the floor going to find Maddie, Mara, and Avery after Jacob's set. And I wrote on it a beautiful galaxy of scars, then like a little hyphen JW with the date on it. That is not his exact quote from that night. He said, the most beautiful galaxy of scars. I just messed it up a titsy bit. But I thought these were really cute, and I wanted to remember the night in a different way. So after we met Maddie and Mara up, we all went downstairs to the merch table, and Maddie and I took our last pictures together. So we took like those little like promise ones, like we'll always be best friends, like I promise. And then we just took individual pictures because we're internet best friends and that's what we do. Then Rachel bought her merch. And after that, we left because we didn't want to see Fifth Harmony. I wish we would have stayed though, because Jacob came down to the merch tables. So when we left, we went directly to CVS and we bought water and Cheez-Its. And when we were walking there, this lady like got out of her car and was like, girls, is the concert over yet? And we're like, no. And then we went inside, we bought our stuff, and the guy like that was like checking us out, he's like, you guys look starstruck. And I'm like, okay, bye. So yeah, after that we went and we were gonna go sit by the tour buses, but then this like this person was driving so slow next to us, and we're like, okay, we're just gonna wait for them to pass. Of course, they stop right next to us. I thought we were gonna get shot. Rachel thought we were gonna get raped. And they roll down the window, and it's this old guy in a police uniform. He's like, where are you ladies going? I'm like, oh, I'm going to look for my mom. She said she was up here. And so he's like, okay, I'll follow you. Okay, bye. So we walk up the hill, and my mom's not there. So I pretended to be on the phone with my mom, and I'm like, oh, like, where should we meet you? And I'm like, okay, my mom's not here yet, but I just talked to her, and she said that she would meet me by the front of the venue. And he's like, okay, like, just be careful, or whatever. And so then we ended up going back to the spot where we waited for the meet and greet, and we just sat there. I vlogged, which I deleted all the vlogs because there was like 2. And then we saw the guy go by again, and we just went to go sit by this wall so that he wouldn't see us. Then I called my mom and told her everything, and then she came and picked us up, and we were on our way home. So, yeah, that's really it. I'll insert screenshots from me meeting Jacob, and I'll insert all of the pictures that I have because, again, as I previously said in videos, those videos of me meeting them are just like a little piece of my heart that I have for the rest of my life, that really I don't show anyone. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.